Hi folks, John from Designed Elegance Pastry Shop here. I hope you're well. I'm doing really good. Thanks for tuning in. So for today's lesson, because we are right around the holiday season, we're going to do some cranberry muffin batter. So we got a recipe that is very quick and simple to do. Basically anyone can make it. You don't need any heavy equipment. That's why I chose this particular recipe. And we're going to use some nice, wonderful, big plump cranberries that I have left over from the Thanksgiving season. And we're going to make these wonderful muffins so that we can share them with our friends. So, let's get started. Okay, so for our recipe, it's, like I said, it's very simple. It's just some flour, some sugar, powdered soda, salt, oil, milk, eggs, all the simple stuff. Okay, so let's see here. Let's do this. Let's take our flour. We need 2 cups of flour. And what I want to do is just take my 2 cups of flour and get it all ready with the baking powder and the baking soda, and then I'm going to set it off to the side. So there's 1. And there's 2. Okay, and then let's see, we'll use just a little pinch of salt. Okay, just a teeny weeny little pinch here, not much. Okay, and then let's see, for the baking soda, let's see, we need a half a teaspoon. Okay, so we're going to use our little half teaspoon measure, and we'll of course make it nice and level. Okay, pop that in. Now, how much baking powder? 6 teaspoons, which we're doing a 3rd batch, so 2 teaspoons. I need 2 teaspoons. Okay. My wife gave me this, copied this recipe for me, and I think she wants a lot of muffins. But to keep things simple, we're just going to do a smaller batch here. We'll just do a 1 dozen batch here. Okay. And that's pretty level, so, okay. So, we've got our flour, our powder, our soda, our salt. Okay, and that's it for the dry ingredients with the exception of the sugar. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my soda and baking powder and swirl it into the flour here. And what that does is it blends it, makes it easier to blend once I put the wet ingredients, once I add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. Okay, so here's our flour mixture. Now we need half a cup of sugar. Okay, so let's grab a half cup of sugar here. There it is, half a cup. Okay. Start with that in the bottom of the bowl. Okay, half a cup of sugar, and then we need some oil, some milk, and some eggs. All right, let's start with the oil. We need a half a cup, and I just happen to have a cup pre-measured right here. Okay, so there's this guy. And then grab a couple of eggs. Okay, so there's 1. And 2. Okay. And let's see, what else do we need? We needed 3/4 of a cup of milk. Okay, so 3/4 of a cup of milk. There we go. Now let me put that back in the fridge. No sense leaving it out. Okay, so now we have our milk going in. Okay, now I'm going to use my whisk. Actually, let me add the vanilla too. Okay, because we want to get all of our wet ingredients in first. Just a little splash of vanilla. It doesn't take much because this is good and strong. Okay, so now I'm just gonna give this mixture a little whip here with my whisk. And what I want to do is incorporate it fully and then fluff it just a little bit. Once it starts to look a little frothy, then I'll be good. It's not really going to get thick. Just want it to be nice and light. Fully mixed, of course. Okay. So, there's that. Now what we want to do is take half of our flour mixture and add it in. Okay. Now I'm going to use a spatula here. I'm going to mix this in like so. Now once it's almost all the way in, I'm going to add the rest. Okay. Okay. There's a few little lumps, but that's going to be okay. Alright, so see how it looks nice and smooth, a little bit frothy? Okay. Now I want to add 2 cups of cranberries. There's 1. Now you can always add a few more or a few less if you wanted to. That's going to be okay. And a lot of folks would actually add a handful of pecans too. That would be good. But we're gonna skip those this time. Okay, so we'll just mix this in together nice and loose, like so. Basically, you want to cover all those cranberries up so they're completely surrounded with batter.
A few moments later,
Let's line some. Use the muffin pan. Now, this batch should make 12. So, 1 pan should be good. And this is the scoop I normally use for cupcakes and muffins, so we'll try this one. If we have a little extra batter, we can always just divide it up. See how I'm slightly heaped? I think that should be about right. So, look at that. A little bit left. See? We're getting pretty full. Now, if this was normal cake batter, I would have been just, and that would have been easy peasy because you don't have to worry about the chunks or anything. Okay. Now, let's call that good. Well, maybe a little bit more in that one. And this one. Okay. Gotta stop. You gotta just stop. Alright, so now let's top these off with some of this standing sugar, the big sugar. Okay. And that's going to give it a nice sparkle on top, nice shine, get a little crunchy.
Not to mention it tastes good.
Well, it's all about the taste. Alright. So now we're going to bake these in the oven at about 350 degrees. And the recipe says it should take about 25 minutes. We'll see if that's true. And we're going to bake them. As usual, we're going to bake them about 2/3 of the way through. We're going to turn them 360 degrees, or I'm sorry, 180 degrees, and then bake it the rest of the way. We'll pull them out, we'll let them cool for a few minutes, and then we'll enjoy them. So, let's take just a few minutes. We'll get the oven going. We'll bake these, and we'll be back shortly. Alrighty, welcome back. I smell muffins. So, it's been about 25, 28 minutes, and It's smelling awfully good in here, and I think it's time to check on the muffins and see how they're doing. So, I've actually got a toothpick here, and I think it would be best to, okay, they have a little shell on them, golden brown. See the shininess, that's from the sugar, and that's always a good thing. Let's go right into the middle one, right into the center with this toothpick, and we'll pull it out. Okay, that's looking pretty darn clean. I think that we should pull the muffins. Okay. Alright. So now, basically, these guys are ready. I would definitely want to let them sit on the table for a few minutes before you want to eat them, because you don't want to burn yourself. Those cranberries are going to be molten hot for about 10-15 minutes, so I would shy away from, trying them too quick. But they smell awfully darn good, and it's going to be awfully tempting to eat these. So so let's just give them a minute, and then we'll go ahead and we'll try them and see how they are.
A few moments later.
Alright folks, we've given these a couple minutes, and I really can't wait any longer, so I'm sorry, but I gotta pull one of these out, cut it in half, and try it. So, my goodness, let's try this one here. Okay, let's cut it in half so that we can see how it looks on the inside. Now remember, it's really hot yet, so I'm going to be very, very careful about peeling this paper so it doesn't just implode in my hand here. I don't want it to all fall apart and crack apart. Okay. Ooh, look at that. You got a nice color. It's a little cakey on the bottom. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's see how it looks on the inside. Oh, look at that. Oh, see how it's baked all the way through. It's a little gooey right here, but once these cool off, the moisture that's on the inside is going to dissipate throughout the whole muffin. And by tomorrow, what we want to do is wrap these, maybe put a towel over them, okay? If you wrap them in plastic, then they're going to get soft. If you like that crispy edge, you want to just put a towel over them and don't wrap them airtight. You want them to be able to breathe a little bit. So, all right, Mr. Dan, you ready to try?
Yeah, I sure am.
There you go. Give that here. You eat the fruity one, and I'll eat this one here, because that's a good part. Yeah, I know.
Look at that, people! Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that's working. Boy, that's tart. That's good. That's good against that batter.
Yeah, the batter and the sugar is adding sweetness, and this is adding the tartness, so it's kind of like sweet tart.
Yeah. Oh, I just really like that shell on the top. Very good. Now, like I said during the mixing process, we could have added some chopped pecans. That would have been very good. And also another thing that would be really good. Now I don't want to do it because they should be like this. But if you wanted to sweeten them up a little bit more, you could always take some of that Christmas cookie glaze that we used for that last lesson. Maybe water it down a little bit so it's not as stiff as it normally is for the cookies or the petit fours. But we could just drizzle a little bit of that on top. And if we drizzled it on while they're still warm, then that's going to come down and that's going to create a little bit of shell too.
Right.
And
So actually, it would fall into the nooks and crannies.
yeah, you're reading my mind. Yep, and that would be very good. So, another thing to think about, if you want to sweeten up a few, maybe add some pecans or even some walnuts to a few, that's fine. You don't have to keep them all the same. And, quite frankly, once you've got them all scooped and everything, you can just add a couple of pecans to just a few of them. And then, like I said, you can just glaze a few of them so that you have something for everybody.
Right, and this could be used for like other types of fruit, like cherries.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Quite frankly, we could use the same batter.
For just about anything.
We could use blueberries. We could use fresh raspberries. There's all kinds of things that we could do.
Or chocolate chips. There's no such thing as too much chocolate.
No, there isn't. You know what I like?
Huh.
I like coffee batter with chocolate chips in it. Coffee flavored muffin batter with chocolate chips in it.
That'd be almost like an espresso or something, wouldn't it?
You know
Or
it.
cappuccino muffins.
And then the glaze, use a little bit of that rich coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Make it coffee flavored into the sugar. Oh yeah. Maybe we'll do that next time. Or one of these times.
There you go.
Anyway, so folks, I hope you've enjoyed our video. And I hope you learned something. And if you didn't learn anything, I hope you're at least entertained. So, because we entertain ourselves. We have a lot of fun with this.
Indeed.
And just remember, when you bake with love and with passion and joy, it's always going to be delicious, no matter what you're making. So, happy baking. Thank you.
And from all of us at Designed Elegance Pastry Shop, have a happy holiday season, and we'll see you in the new year.
There you go. Be well now. Thank you.